Next in our webinar, we're going to see when the insurance requests a refund or they actually take back the payment or does a retraction, how you could do that in the system. Now, first let's look at where the insurance has requested a refund and you are supposed to be, or you have cut a check, a refund check, and send it to the insurance. So now you need to reverse that amount from the system as well. So let's first see how you can do that. So I'll go to the charges and open up the edit charges screen, and let's open a claim that has a payment that's applied that the insurance is requesting a refund for. So I'll just open a patient's charge here. Okay, so you can see this charge has got $150, which is an insurance payment that's been applied. Now, let's say if the insurance has requested a refund, maybe the full amount or a part due to maybe an overpayment, how you can post that refund in the system. So the first scenario we're going to look at is where you have already where you got a request or a letter and you want to send a check to the insurance. So you've issued the check, so you have to reflect that in the system. So this is what you do. You go to the reverse line or the reverse option on the line, and it brings up the posting activity screen. On the posting activity, it shows you that the $150 has been applied. Now you want to reverse the you have issued a refund, so you have to enter the amount that you have issued the refund for in the reverse paid field. So let's say the amount that is overpaid by the insurance was, for example, $35, and that's the amount that you issued the check for. So you're going to enter reverse paid here as 35. Now here on the next current status, you can either leave it on the, right now it is in the secondary status. If you want to leave it on the secondary status, you can leave it there, or if you want to put it back to the primary status, you can select the status for the primary. I'm going to just leave it on the secondary status for now. And then later on, if I want to put it back to the primary or maybe do some further research before I do some action on it, I can do that. Next on the option here, I'm going to hit the reverse/refund. I'm going to click on that, and that's going to open up to this refund option screen, which is you have got refund to payer. Now on this screen, I'm going to enter my refund check, the check that I'm issuing. So let's say if the check number is 1590, I enter that check number in here. In the payment date and the accounting date, I'm going to enter the date that the refund check was issued. So over here, let's say the check was issued on December 1st. I'm going to enter here 1st of December as the date. Now, of course, if I want to add any additional information like reference number or a comment, I can also enter that in here. Also going to put the entry date here as the same date, which is 12/1. Right. So once all this is entered, we can hit the save, and that will reverse that amount from the line, the $35, and create a refund entry for it. So I'll hit save, that puts back the $35 into the line, and also it would have created a refund entry. So if I click on the reverse back here, you can see this was a payment that was originally applied. There's now a take back of it of $35. And if I go into this payment, I can actually see the reversal entry, or of course there are other ways also you can search for the payment. You can search with the refund entry can be searched with the check number, which we had entered there, or with the date of the payment, other fields. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just put that original payment number, hit search, it brings it up, and we can click on the edit. That it shows you this was the amount that was refunded from this payment, and this was a payment number that was created for the refund. So if you go and search for this payment, you can see that it's got that refund of $35 which is created. So that's how you can create or post refunds when the insurance has requested a refund, you have issued a refund, a check, and you want to take that money out of the line and create a refund entry in the system. Now, let's look at another scenario where the insurance is taking back the money. So they made a payment, maybe they made a payment for a date of service for a patient, and they now come back and say they made an overpayment and they're now taking back the money, and that in the EOB it reflects that they are taking back the money from this previous date of service. So I've got a sample EOB here which kind of would help you or explain the situation. So you can see that in this EOB the actual check amount is $35. This is the check number and check date. The EOB has a payment for Peter Parker for this date of service, and though the amount that they're paying shows $50, but the check amount is only for $35 because they also have a recoupment, a retraction they're taking back from a previous date for another patient from this 2/9/2016 date of service. So you can see there's a take back because they said that they made an overpayment. So the total payable is actually $35, which is what they have issued the check for. So let's see how we would do this in the system. So firstly, let's open up this patient, which is Jerry Smith, from whose date of service that they are taking back the money. So we'll go to that Jerry Smith's date of service. Now before we go there, just make a note of this check number, because this check number will have to be entered when you're doing the reversal or posting the refund. So I'm going to go to that charge. I'm going to open up the charge. So navigate to the charges and edit charges, and I'm going to just open up that patient. My patient was Jerry Smith, and the date of service on that was 2/9/2016. So just to help me find, I don't have to look for it, so I'm just going to put the date of service here so it brings it up for me. So that's the date that has got the original payment, the payment that they pay, the amount that they paid. So you can see there's $100 insurance payment here. Now they're telling us that insurance saying that they overpaid $15 for this. So the actual paid amount should have been $85, but they paid $100 here. So they are reversing $15 from this date of service. So we're going to do the same step over here too. We're going to do the reverse. So I'm going to click on the reverse. and it brings up this payment activity line. I enter the reverse paid as $15, the amount that they are taking back. And then we're going to put this to the insurance status. Now, when they're taking back the remaining amount, whether it mostly may be a write-off, or it could be something else which could be billed to the secondary or patient responsibility, something of that sort. So in this case, let's just say that this amount has to be written off. So I'm just going to put it into the primary insurance status now, and we can write it off after that. So here I will hit the reverse/refund, and that'll open up into the reverse refund screen. Now over here, you can see it's the dot should be on to payer. Now the original check information is what we can see on this fields. So I'm going to change that, and because the refund is being requested, or the retraction is being done through a different check, so which is the check number was that 000135, which was on the EOB. So let me go back to the EOB here. You can see this is a check that, or yeah, this is the check that they are asking the refund from, or retraction is being done. So we'll enter that check number in here, 35. Also, the check date was for 12/15, so I'm going to enter 12/15/2018. I'm also going to keep the accounting date as the same. So I've created the refund information. Now we can hit the save, or the retraction information. So we'll save it. So that will create a refund for that amount, which is the $15. So I'm going to hit save here. So it puts back into the line $15. Now let's say this $15 has to be billed to the patient or billed to the secondary, or let's say if it has to be written off, you can always write it off from here. So if you, let's say this $15 has to be written off, we can select an adjustment reason, and set the next status to write off close, and hit save line, which will write off that amount. Now going back onto the payment, because we also have that payment of $50, which is, they're saying there's a paid amount of $50 for this for this payment, which is Peter Parker, for 7/10/2017. So the amount that we would need to add, though the check amount here is $35, the payment, when I create the payment, I'm actually going to create it for the full paid amount. So the full paid amount is $50. We already did the -15, which is the take back has been done. So I'm going to add the payment for the full $50. So that'll offset, and the actual check amount will be $35. So let's take a look at that. So I'm going to go to the enter edit screen, or you can go to the manual posting screen. Either ways, you can add the payment from either place. Now I'm going to enter the accounting date as 12/15, because that was the date on the check. And on the payment type, I'm going to select here as claim. Say this was from this insurance. I'm going to select that insurance. We're going to enter the amount that was paid. The check amount is only $35, but we have to enter the full amount because we have already done a $15 take back. So we'll enter the full $50 here. And they're also saying that the $50 is what needs to be applied. So I enter the $50. And enter the check number. Check number is 000300135. I've entered that, and we'll now hit save and apply to apply this payment. So I'm going to hit save and apply, and it has to be applied to Peter Parker. the date of service for 7/10/2017. So it's got a $70 remaining on the line, and let's say the allowed amount here is $50, and the paid is also $50. So here I've entered the allowed and paid amounts, and now there's a balance. We'll hit post to have that payment posted. So I'm going to hit post here, and that will apply that payment. So the $50 is applied. So we have the $50 of the payment, and we also have a refund of -15. So if you total them, you would see that the total paid amount in the system will be $35, which is the amount that's on the check. So which is total payable, and the check amount is $35. So let's go back and take a look at this. So what we will do here is we'll just enter the check number, and I'll just search. You can see that when I search with the check number, it shows me these are the two payments that are there. One is of course a refund, the other is the payment. And so when you add them both, you would see that the amount that you get is the $35, which is actually what the insurance paid. So that's how you can add or post refunds when there's a refund or a retraction that the insurance requests, or if there's a recoupment on the EOB. What you would always do is always enter the check amount as a total paid amount. Whatever is a total paid amount, that will be entered as the check amount. So in this instance, it'll be the $50, the full $50, which will be entered as a payment amount, total payment amount. And then once you have entered and applied that, there will be also a reversal, which is a refund, which would be done in the system. And that whatever amount that they're taking back, that's what the refund is going to be done for. And so when that gets offset, you would see that it adds up to the total 35, which is, or when you add those two payments, the refund and the total payment, it comes up to the actual paid by the insurance.